What's up guys, Coyote Works here. Well, I just got back from a little hike out here across the sagebrush and I'm in a camp right here tonight. So this will be, there'll be a couple of challenges with this campsite. One is I won't have any protection from the wind, and two is the only thing I have out here for wood to burn is sagebrush. But it's just an amazing spot. I've got views for miles in every direction. I'll show you guys a look at the scenery. So I'm out here in the middle of the barren sagebrush flat country and I'm just exploring around. But for now, I'm going to get my camp set up. It's about 3:30 in the afternoon and I'm going to start losing light pretty soon. So first things first, I'm going to get my rooftop tent set up. I'm not anticipating any rain tonight, but I do see a few clouds in the sky back over there, so I'm going to go ahead and deploy the awning just because it's so simple, and out here I have absolutely zero cover if it does rain. One thing I really like about this awning is it's freestanding with the frame and it's actually pretty durable. If you get a lot of wind, you can guy it out with the guy ropes, but I usually don't, so I'm just going to tie these off back out of the way. I'm just going to set my ready light right here and switch it on. So that way it can be charging up a little bit. I've still got maybe another half hour. Let's see. Yeah, I've got about 2 fingers worth of sun, about a half hour of sun left. So I'll just give it a little bit extra charge. I can't remember if I charged it after my last trip or not. Since I don't really have any rocks out here to work with, I'm just going to dig a little bit of a fire pit and use the sand to kind of make a back wall for it. I did see a couple of rocks coming down the hill here, so we'll see how I do with just the sand, and I may run up there and get a couple of rocks off the hill. So out of that Toughware cook box, I just pulled my cooking kit. So all of my cooking pans and everything, including the stove, are in this little bag. So I've got a pan, titanium plate, 2 cups, 1 stainless steel and 1 titanium, silverware, oh, and a nice little fork that I carved up, and then my little Optimus Crux stove. So I'm going to get this set up, and then my camp will be all done, and maybe I'll get to go out and hike around a little bit more before it gets dark. That's what I'm hoping for. Well, I'm slumming it a little bit on this trip. I don't have my nice comfortable chairs. I just have this wimpy little one from Sportsman's Warehouse. I left one of my good chairs up at my camp up on a friend of mine's property. I'm starting to stash a little bit of gear up there with the idea of making it kind of a bug out camp. So this was the only chair I had left in my Jeep, and it's just a spare that I keep in there. All right, I just took a little walk around, just probably half a mile out from camp, but I've been finding these tracks, and I'll see if I could, the light's failing, so I don't know if I can give you guys a good look at them, but this gives us a good idea what's walking around here, out here in the desert. So I have a big mountain lion track right here in the road, and It's a little bit old. It's eroded a little bit. It looks like maybe it's been through a couple of frosts, so it's old. But it's hard to tell this time of year when it's freezing and thawing almost every night. But there's several sets of coyote tracks out here too. So out here in this flatland this time of year, all the animals are more desperate for food. And I know it seems really nice, but it's a rare little break midwinter here. Is just kind of a freak warm spell we're having. So I'm pretty sure I know where this cat's going. There's a rim rock up behind me. And out here in this wide open country, those rim rocks, the base of those rim rocks are good places for small animals to live. So this cat's going to go up and he's going to hunt along that rim rock up there. He's going to go sniffing along there. All right, see this? This is exactly what I was talking about. There's a den back underneath this rock here. Now, it's probably a badger den, and if I saw any fresh sign out here, this wouldn't be a good idea for me to get my face this close to the den. But I don't think this den's been used in a while. I don't see any sign at all. But this is a perfect example of why that cat will be hunting along this rim rock. All kinds of small game like to live and make their homes in these little nooks and crannies down here in the rocks. Alright, I'm going to get a fire started. It's almost dark and my camp's right over there. But I just saw this one particular sagebrush here that I'm going to gather some of, because this is what I like to call the fire starter sagebrush. And it's a little damp, but what I'm looking for are these long, thin strands right here. And I'll just gather clusters of them. And that's excellent for my first level of kindling to get my fire started. I'll try to pull the stuff that's sticking up into the air that's been dried by the breeze today. Alright, we'll see how this goes. I got this little bird's nest of feathery grass here, and I'm hoping that it will take a spark. Now I've got all of my smallest wood here, and then a little bit bigger wood staged right there. So let's see how this goes. Alright, well I had some dinner. I had some biscuits and cheese dogs in honor of Oregon Mike. So Oregon Mike, if you're watching this video, I was thinking about you tonight while I was eating my cheese dogs, and but I didn't do the tortillas. I wrapped them in biscuits. It's really starting to cool down tonight. It was an abnormally warm day today for the middle of January, but it's cooling off tonight. The ground's starting to freeze and get crunchy, and I had dinner and everything's pretty much buttoned up for the night, so I'm gonna climb up into the rooftop tent and maybe just chill and read a little bit until I go to sleep. And tomorrow I've got some awesome country here to explore.
Good morning, guys. Just waking up, have a little bit of Jewel and Rusk, and of course my Starbucks Via that I make in a bottle. But I just wanted to show you guys, look at this view out here. That's looking out the window of my rooftop tent. There is nothing for miles.
Alright, well the first thing I'm going to do this morning is get a little fire going, because it is chilly out here. I don't know if you guys can see the frost on the ground, but I can feel it this morning. The sun's just starting to come up over there, but it'll be another hour or two before the temperature starts to warm up much. So I'm going to get a fire started, and then I can get some coffee going and some breakfast. I've had some breakfast and some coffee, so I'm going to go ahead and tear down my camp and head up the road a little bit. There's a couple of old historic sites that I found markings for on the map around here. So I'm going to do a little bit of driving and a little bit of hiking and hopefully find the remains of an old homestead or an old stage stop or something. So this is a really old map I'm looking at. And you can see right there where it says Rock Wall. They don't put stuff like that on any of the newer maps, so I'm going to go over there and check that out. Well, hopefully the wind noise isn't too bad, but I didn't find anything out here, so I'm going to head back to the Jeep, drive a little further, and see if I can find anything else. After another hour or two of exploring, I located what was indicated on the map as a stone wall. And I believe it was either a homestead site or possibly even a stage stop, but there was a pretty impressive stone wall constructed around a fairly large perimeter and the remains of some old structures and some old buildings in the middle of it. There was also a short section of stage road that I located near it. But after that, it was time for me to wrap up and head back to town. I hope you guys enjoyed this little adventure. Coyote Works, out.